Hello, this is my demo of Warlock Ubers, and this is on the most recent ladder. This is with a relatively budget setup, and I'm going to show the minis and then also the final Ubers as well. The main thing you'll see in this video is Warlock is very fast, does very high damage, and it is probably, I think, the new, better Uber killer, honestly. Even better than Smiter, maybe. So, let me go through how this works. So we're going to the Matron's Den. So the main thing that's going to take a lot of time here is finding the minis, because I don't have teleport, because this is a more budget setup, so no enigma. If you have a sorceress to help you, they can find the minis, but it's helpful that when they spawn on P1, because they're easier to kill. So the way that you generally kill the minis, you stick the minion on top of them, like I did there, and put the sigil on them, and then just beat the shit out of them with your echoing strike. And you can see here on Lilith, just stick the echoing strike and the sigil on her. You'll see the same thing when we go into the Furnace and Pain. One thing you may have noticed is because I have 2 defilers, the minions around Lilith also just start dying because Lilith gets tagged by the defiler, and then so do the minions around her. This also works in the Ubers in Tristram itself, which is particularly helpful, especially for Mephisto, because he summons a whole bunch of ads and they all just die around him. You don't have to think about it. So here we go, killing Israel. I actually get amped here and I take 1 hit, lose most of my life, but because my BO also went down, but no problem, just rejuve it off and go to next boss and kill Juriel. So go. So in terms of the setup for this, I'm using the Horizons set, as that gives you a lot of ED, a lot of resistances, some plus skills, and some life leech. So it's kind of all the things you need except for teleport, but you can manage with just the blade warp. I get greedy here, pick up some rare gloves that dropped, and then go find Juriel. So as you see, most of the time here is spent going to the minis. Once I actually get to Tristram himself, it'll be super fast. So find Juriel, put the sigil on him, gets cursed by my Hephasto, and takes a whole bunch of damage and dies. As I said, that's pretty fast. And we're ready to go into the Ubers itself. So just set up my BO again, get both the defilers up, and I said, key thing to watch out for is see all the mobs die around Mephisto, and it makes it a lot easier to kill him, rather than having to worry about them. So, into Tristram, Mephisto will run at you straight away, you've got to bait him out a little bit, stick the sigil on him, and then throw your strikes. See here, Hephasto's tanking totally fine, there's no ads around because the defilers have killed them all, and now you can just run into the other as well, and Diablo, stick the sigil on him, and throw them with swords. Because you've got the life leech and these guys can be leeched, it's totally, you just kill them really easily. So there you go. So what was that, like 30-40 seconds in Tristram itself? So the main thing is finding the minis. And this is budget setup, relatively budget setup, I'd say. You don't need as much as this. You mainly just need the Horizon set and the weapon. The rest of the stuff can kind of go hit and miss. You do want to try and hit the 48 FCR breakpoint, which is what I'm actually running on this. So that was just showing Hephasto, cursed, he's got the cold aura. I've got a ethereal Colossus Volge insight here. I've got the Horizon set. I've socketed this mainly with resistances, so this hat has I think a Toll rune, this armor has an Ort rune just to pad out my resistances, make sure I'm at the cap. They've got a big resistance amulet with some FCR that I crafted. The demon skills aren't that helpful, they save some points maybe, but it doesn't matter that much. Shield here, this has a diamond in it for again more resistances, and then finally the gloves. Well, they have the leech that I have, so that's the only leech that is on the setup is from them. I have Ravenfrost and a Snowclash belt. These are so that the armor from Baal and Israel, they fire like frost bolts back at you when you hit them, so you need these to absorb all that cold damage. And then finally this is a 10 FCR ring, it could be a ring with res, and then the Horizon boots. In my inventory I just have life and res charms, and a Warlock torch. You don't need the Warlock torch, any torch, or it's just res, you can get other ways of getting res. So yeah. I also have a battle orders, it's a level 1 BO, again it's pretty budget, but you can you could get a Bob if you were feeling a bit more antsy about it. So there you go. Fast, cheap Warlock Uber clears.